Hello and welcome. My name is Chloe Gaszewski from One Way Journey, and in this video I just want to talk a little bit about travel and why it's so important for our self-growth. Now, before I kind of get started, I want to tell you a story about the herbs that I grow in my garden. It is travel related, I promise. But I grow various herbs in my garden, and specifically I'd like to talk to you about spearmint, because spearmint and all mint plants actually will grow to fill the space that they have. So if you put a spearmint plant or a mint plant into a very small pot, it will only ever grow to fill its allotted space. If you take that plant out of that small pot and you put it in a much larger pot, it will then grow into a much larger plant and grow to fill its new allotted space. And as you see it grow, you'll see it expand, and you'll see it become more condensed and full of life. It has more to offer, it has more attraction, and the same thought process can be applied to humans. Now, we will grow to fill the environment that is around us. So in order for us to learn and evolve, we need to widen our horizons. So here's what travel does. Travel takes you out of this environment that you've always known, this very small space of people, of thoughts, of beliefs, of, things that you see, and it takes you out of that. You like the mint pot, and it throws you, it plants you nicely, it doesn't throw you, I don't know what I'm talking about. It puts you into a much bigger pot. And again, you're able to really grow and feel yourself and learn, and your constant, this is the stages of growth. So the first stage is where your consciousness starts to break down its walls of entrapment. So the things that you've always known, the life that's set up around you, all of a sudden that starts to kind of break down. Things as you've always known them start to kind of change, and you start observing and seeing things from a new perspective. Start to really understand the vastness of the space that is around you. That's, you're looking around and you're like, everything is just bigger and more. There's just more. Your perception of reality starts changing with every new landscape, new climate, new faces, new languages, the cultural differences. And from there, you just embark on a journey of self-discovery. And self-discovery starts obviously with yourself, and it transpires out into discovery of the world and people around you. When you understand yourself, you understand other people. And that's how it works. So you might look at somebody now and be like, I don't understand why this person does that, or why this person's like this. How does that person have that and that person doesn't? When you start to really understand yourself, you start to understand other people and the world around you. It is incredible. A little story. In February 2016, I was in Mexico City, and pollution filled the air. It was so busy, people everywhere, just rushing around, just getting on with their lives, just busy. And I was on my way to meet a tour bus to take me out for the day, and I got there a little bit earlier, and I was at the meeting point, and I thought, I saw a coffee shop across the road. I thought, I'm just going to go and get myself a coffee. Ran across the road, got myself a coffee, came back. Back then, I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't now. Smoking's bad, guys, don't do it. But I used to smoke cigarettes, so I lit myself a cigarette and stood there and had a sip of this coffee. And I remember, I spat it out. It was horrible. It was no Starbucks, put it that way. I drank a bit of this coffee, and then I was like, this is probably the worst coffee I've ever had, right? So I spat it out. I finished my cigarette, and then the bus came along. So I put my cigarette out in the coffee cup, and I threw it in the bin, and I was like, bleh, bleh. Worst 50 pesos I've ever spent, or whatever it was, something stupid. 50 pesos? No, it wasn't that, like, way less than that. I can't remember Mexico money. So I put it in the bin, the minibus pulled up, I got on the minibus, sat there with my seat next to the window. And a few moments later, I saw a man walking by. He had no shoes on, he looked to be carrying his only possessions in a bag, dirty clothes, you know, and he's walking along and he stops and starts rummaging through the bin. And as he put his hands in the bin and he pulled up the coffee cup, he pulled it out, and I saw his face light up, like he realised he'd found a warm cup of coffee in the bin, and his face just lit up. And I watched this, and then I watched as he opened the lid and saw the cigarette butt in there, and I watched from his face go from elated, this is my lucky day, to complete disappointment. Like, I watched the process go from one to the other. And then I saw him, and I was disgusted by this. I was like, what is he doing? He put his hand in and he pulled the cigarette out, threw it, and then he put the lid on and carried on drinking it. And I mean, I was disgusted. I was like, how can he do that? That's vile. But then it dawned on me, like, the disgust that I felt for him, I was feeling it for myself, because I thought, not only have I been ungrateful, and because I had the money to buy a coffee in the first place, and I thought it was vile, so I put my cigarette in there, completely oblivious to what might happen next, you know? I was doing things without being consciously aware of the ripple effect that my actions were having. And then I watched this man who had thought that this is my lucky day fall in disappointment, think, well, you know, this is better than I thought I was probably going to get today. And he scooped out his cigarette and put the lid back on and started drinking it. And I just thought to myself, Chloe, you need to start being more mindful of your actions and the effect that the simple things that you do, the effect that has. And then throughout the rest of my trip, throughout my rest of my time, you know, through Mexico and other places that I went to, I was starting to become more mindful of the people that I passed. I was starting to observe and listen without judgment. And my awareness did begin to widen, and it grew in the same way that a mint plant would. Because I was all of a sudden becoming aware of things that I just hadn't been before. And I was aware of me. I was aware of my place in this world. So travel can bring a new insightness into your world. It can change the way that you view yourself. And here's the thing, a lot of people are struggling with the way that they see themselves in the world, the way that they are living their lives, because I've been there before. Before I went traveling, I was worried about, what was the future going to hold for me? Should I be married by now? Should I have children? Should I be doing this for a job? I was in a lot of debt. Like, everything just felt completely wrong. And all of a sudden, I was living my life in a completely different way. I was aware of who I am as a person. I'm aware of what my purpose here is in life. And I've gone on now I now have my own business, and I travel lots, and I have lots of friends from all around the world. And I wake up and I'm like, what do I want to do with my life today? Because I know I can. I also do everything with kindness. I know I'm a strong person. I know, I'm the queen on the chessboard. I know who I am. But it doesn't mean I have to be harsh in the way that I act in my life. I can do things very mindfully and making sure that I'm having a good impact on those around me by still doing all the things that I want to. There's no such thing as either or. You don't have to be one or the other. You can be both. You can be authentic and you can be yourself. And that is something that travel teaches you. When you go traveling with intent to learn about yourself, to discover who you are and what your purpose in this world is, you will find the answers that you're looking for. And you're going to have an amazing time doing it as well. But that is my interpretation of how travel can really help, and why it's so important for your self-growth, and why I believe more people should travel with intent though. With intent is the most important thing that I can say there. What is your purpose? What do you want to gain from your experiences in life? Thanks guys. Have a great day or night wherever you are. I don't know. Bye.